The single biggest ever round of funding has just been completed by OpenAI. Sam Altman has just announced they have secured $110 billion. That is over double the amount they managed last year, which was the previous record for the amount that was actually generated in a funding round. This is from Amazon, it's from Nvidia, and it's from SoftBank. Sam says this over on Twitter: we have raised $110 billion round of funding from Amazon, Nvidia, and SoftBank. We are grateful for the support from our partners and have a lot of work to do to bring you the tools that you deserve. We are excited to partner with Amazon to bring a new generation of products to market, especially around new enterprise products like the stateful runtime environment. We're also very excited to make great use of Trainium, which is, of course, Amazon's TPU. We continue to have great relationship with Microsoft. Microsoft have also issued a statement as well. As stateless API will remain exclusive to Azure, and we will build out much more capacity with them. Nvidia has been long one of our most important partners, and their chips are the foundation of AI computing. We are grateful for their continued trust in us and excited to run their systems in AWS. Their upcoming generation should be great. SoftBank is an incredible and high conviction partner. We're excited to welcome them again as a major investor and to do much more across their ecosystem. So obviously this is massive news in the whole AI world. This means the likes of your memory prices, the likes of your storage prices, the likes of your GPUs, they are going to continue, I'm afraid, to be a pain up the arse, because this level of investment is insane. It has also got to be said, this is again the continuation of that circular investing. This is companies, Amazon, it is companies like Nvidia. Well, it's not like, it is these companies. SoftBank is a little bit different as they're a financial investment company, but when you're looking at Nvidia, when you're looking at Amazon, they are investing into OpenAI to give OpenAI the ability to then give them the money back, to then sell them more of their products, whether that's TPUs from Amazon, whether that's GPUs from Nvidia, or most likely TPUs from Nvidia as well at some point, as they are moving. Remember, they acquired Grok, not Elon Musk's AI bot, but Grok, the TPU manufacturer and designer. So they are moving into that space as well. But this is bonkers levels of investment. If this money is there, if this money is real, I'm afraid it means that, well, yeah, RAM is going to continue to be violently expensive. Now, Sam Altman speaks to CNBC, and again, you can see the headline of their article. And we won't watch the video because it's too long, but what we'll do is just break this down. So they say, obviously, 110 billion has been raised, and that's more than what was raised, more than double from last year. Amazon invested 50 billion, Nvidia has invested 30 billion, and SoftBank has invested 30 billion in the round. OpenAI said in a release on Friday, the investment boosts OpenAI to a 730 billion pre-money valuation, which marks a big jump from its 500 billion valuation in a secondary financing in October. Other investors are expected to join as the round progresses, OpenAI said. So this could get even bigger. Remember, Sam Altman went to the Middle East. He's obviously been flirting with other countries and other investors and other companies and everything else. So who knows where this number's going to go. We're super excited about this deal. OpenAI, Sam Altman told CNBC's Squawk Box on Friday, AI is going to happen everywhere. It's transforming the whole economy, and the world needs a lot of collective computing power to meet the demand. In addition to its participation in the funding round, Amazon announced a multi-year strategic partnership with OpenAI. The companies will develop customized models that will help power Amazon's customer-facing applications as part of the agreement, according to a release. OpenAI said that it's expecting its 38 billion agreement with Amazon Web Services, expanding it by 100 billion over the next 8 years. AWS will also serve as the exclusive third-party cloud distribution provider for OpenAI's enterprise platform Frontier, which it unveiled earlier this month, which again is a direct competitor to the likes of Anthropic. The company said Amazon's 50 billion investment in OpenAI will start with initial commitment of 15 billion, followed by another 35 billion in the coming months when certain conditions are met. Now, these conditions they've been reported on that they're essentially, if OpenAI makes artificial general intelligence, so an artificial intelligence that's on the same level as a human, then they will get the rest of this money. Or if they go public, then they'll get the rest of this money. So this might be an indication that there's going to be some form of IPO with OpenAI. And again, the thing with an IPO of OpenAI, so its initial public offering, them listing on a stock market, would be what's going to happen. That could annihilate the entire economy, because if they get smashed and there's a huge sell-off, it will affect every company inside the AI complex. So I'm very sure they will only do that if two things are met. The first one, they are running out of money. They need to do it to keep their company alive. It's the only way they can secure funding. And they've actually shown us that they can secure funding from other companies at the moment currently. But whether that's going to continue in the next couple of years, who knows? Whether they can generate the amount of money they require for their 600 billion plus investment in data center build-outs and compute build-out by 2030, again, who knows? The other sort of way of looking at it is if it becomes the right time to do it. If AI genuinely does start transforming the world, then OpenAI will IPO, because then it will almost be a no-brainer. Obviously, at the moment, this is all up in the air, and it's not really, I mean, what has it transformed? It's so early right now in the AI space, and OpenAI is off to an amazing start. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy told CNBC, Squawk Box on Friday, they're going to be one of the very big winners, we believe. Long term, I think we can help them quite a bit as part of this partnership. OpenAI said Friday that nothing about its announcement in any way changes its terms of partnership with Microsoft. Now, I'm going to show you the Microsoft thing in a moment, but you've got to remember, Microsoft obviously are distancing themselves from OpenAI, and they also don't want to be seen to be left behind, because, again, that will affect their share price if OpenAI does go parabolic. So there's all a little bit of back and forth. We're still friends. We're still loving it. Yeah, and all that crap. In the 3 years plus, since launching since what? ChatGPT. Great reporting here. OpenAI has reshaped the technology industry and defined an era of generative artificial intelligence, but the company has to keep reeling in cash in order to finance its ambitions, particularly in paying for its graphics processing units, GPUs, and infrastructure. As part of its announcement on Friday, OpenAI said it's expanding its long-standing collaboration with Nvidia, which dominates the GPU market. OpenAI will use 3 gigawatts of dedicated inference capacity and 2 gigawatts of training capacity on Nvidia's Vera Rubin systems. Those are the new Nvidia chips, which I don't think they're available yet, but they're starting to roll out. I think they're in production or something. OpenAI has been telling investors that it's now targeting roughly $600 billion in total compute spend by 2030, months after Sam Altman touted $1.4 trillion infrastructure commitments. The company is providing a lower number and more defined timeline for its planned spending, sources told CNBC, as broader concerns mounted that the expansion ambitions were too great for the potential revenue that would follow. While OpenAI continues to lead the consumer AI market, it faces intensifying competition from Google's Gemini and is trying to ramp up its offerings for the enterprise market, where rival Anthropic has an early lead. OpenAI is projecting that its total revenue for 2030 will be more than $280 billion, with nearly equal contributions from its consumer and enterprise businesses, said the sources, who asked not to be named because the information is private. Okay, here's the joint statement between OpenAI and Microsoft. Again, remember, this is all about optics. Microsoft is so heavily down the rabbit hole of shove absolutely dog shit AI into everything. Everything is a co-pilot assistive bag of shit that they cannot be seen to be left behind. But they're also moving away from OpenAI, but they also don't want to just like rip the cord, because that might cause way too much damage. So you've got this back and forth where it's everyone's friends, right? So this is what they say. Since 2019, Microsoft and OpenAI have worked together to advance artificial intelligence responsibly and to make its benefits broadly accessible. What began as a research partnership has grown into one of the most consequential collaborations in technology, grounded in mutual trust, deep technical integration, and long-term commitment to innovation. This has totally not been generated by AI, by the way. It probably has. As conversations around AI investments and partnerships grow, and as OpenAI announces new funding and its new partners, as they did today, we want to ensure these announcements are understood within the existing construct of our partnership. Nothing about today's announcement in any way changes the terms of Microsoft and OpenAI's relationship that have been previously shared in our joint blog in October 2025. The partnership remains strong and central, and it's in bold. Good Lord. Microsoft and OpenAI continue to work closely across research, engineering, product development, building on years of deep collaboration and shared success. Our IP relationship continues unhinged. Now, you've got to remember, I'm going to kind of like, from what I can recall from memory on this, there is a very complex partnership here between Microsoft and OpenAI in terms of their IP, so their intellectual property, when it comes to the models that they're designing. And Microsoft can almost, like, this is a very basic way of viewing it, but can copy and paste their models in a way and sort of take them because of the deal they've got. And they're saying this remains unchanged. So we're still going to have control of that. And it's not like Amazon is now going to be able to just copy and paste the models from OpenAI. At least that's what they're trying to say. Because remember, Amazon and Microsoft, major competitors, through loads of their products, like cloud, obviously, and through compute and all of that stuff. Microsoft maintains its exclusive license to access the intellectual property across OpenAI models and products. Collaborations like the partnership between OpenAI and Amazon were always contemplated under our new agreement, and Microsoft is excited to see what they build together. They're not excited. They're like, fuck off, we want it all for ourselves. But these are the things that are happening. And also, what do they want? I mean, there's literally nothing there at the moment. Anyway, our commercial and revenue sharing relationship remains unchanged. The ongoing revenue share arrangement remains unchanged and has always included sharing revenue from partnership between OpenAI and other cloud providers. Azure remains the exclusive cloud provider of stateless OpenAI APIs. Microsoft is the didn't they say in their initial press release that I just read off that they're looking forward to AWS stateless compute or something? Anyway, maybe I'm losing my mind. All of that provides access to OpenAI's models and IP. These APIs can be purchased from Microsoft or directly from OpenAI. Customers and developers benefit from Azure's global infrastructure security and enterprise-grade capabilities at scale. Any stateless API calls to OpenAI models that result from a collaboration between OpenAI and any third party, including Amazon, will be hosted on Azure. So they're trying to say the connection is always going to be there to the Microsoft cloud, so Microsoft will still be making money. OpenAI's first-party products, including Frontier, will continue to be hosted on Azure. Now, that's the thing which they're launching to try and take on Anthropic and the whole enterprise AI world. AGI definition and processes are unchanged. The contractual definition of AGI and the process for determining it that has been achieved remains the same. The partnership supports OpenAI's growth. As OpenAI scales, it continues to have flexibility to commit to additional compute elsewhere, including through large-scale infrastructure initiatives, such as the Stargate project. And the partnership was designed to give Microsoft and OpenAI room to pursue new opportunities independently while continuing to collaborate, which each company is doing together independently. We remain committed to our partnership and the shared mission that brought us together. We continue to work side by side to deliver powerful AI tools, advanced responsible development, and ensure that AI benefits people and organizations everywhere. So yeah, I mean, that statement is just a straight up, look, we need to actually, it's damage limitation, right? Clearly, OpenAI is getting into bed with everybody it can. It needs the money. Microsoft, we're not willing to give them the money or a large percentage of the money, a large chunk of the money. You've got to ask yourself, why is that? Is it because Microsoft think that they're not great? Is it because Microsoft have got their, they're happy with the relationship they've got at the moment? There's a lot of things going on here, but I do think the sort of kicker here is Microsoft's AI, to me, seems like the worst of the bunch. It's not good. So this is the official release from OpenAI. So this is a scaling AI for everyone. And what I want to do is just bring us down to the bottom here, because this, again, highlights what their partnership is between Amazon and Nvidia and OpenAI. So for Amazon, they say OpenAI and Amazon today announced a multi-year strategic partnership to accelerate AI innovation for enterprise startups and end consumers around the world. You can read the full press release there. And with Nvidia, we're also expanding our long collaboration with Nvidia, including the use of 3 gigawatts of dedicated inference capacity and 2 gigawatts of training on Vera Rubin. This builds on Hopper and Blackwell systems already in operation across Microsoft, OCI, and CoreWeave. Together, this capital infrastructure expansion strengthens our ability to train and deploy frontier models at a global scale. And then we've got some quotes from everyone involved. So OpenAI say, we're pushing the frontiers across infrastructure, research, and products to make AI more capable, reliable, and broadly useful. SoftBank, Nvidia, and Amazon are long-term partners who share our ambition. I mean, obviously, no shit, SoftBank is heavily invested into this. Nvidia is selling you, like, the picks in the gold mine, in the gold rush. And gold, I should say, gold rush. This ain't football. And Amazon, yeah. They're long-term partners who share our ambition to turn real scientific progress into systems that deliver meaningful benefits for people at a global scale. Building, which isn't generative AI slop, which I'm seeing everywhere, and it's killing me. That works for everyone. We require deep collaboration across the stack, and we're excited to do this together. So that's from Sam. Amazon, so Andy Jassy, the president and CEO of Amazon, says, our strategic partnership with OpenAI creates significant value for the shareholders, blah, 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 for both companies, and our investment reflects conviction in the trajectory. With some of the most inventive and widely adopted products and great IP and a very talented team, OpenAI is well positioned for a long-term success. We're excited about the opportunity to build with them and invest in the company and partnership over a long period of time. Nvidia say, so from Big Bad Jensen, artificial intelligence is the most consequential technology of our time, and OpenAI is at the forefront. We've been privileged to partner with OpenAI since its earliest days, as it is delivered one breakthrough after another. Together, we will continue to push the frontier, building the infrastructure for the age of AI and scaling its benefits to serve industries and societies worldwide. I mean, Jensen, if OpenAI goes down, Jensen goes down. You know what I'm saying? So like they are intertwined. AI is transforming the world at an unprecedented pace, says SoftBank. OpenAI is a clear leader with world-class technology and an unparalleled global user base, and we have strong conviction in its continued growth. Through this additional investment, we will accelerate OpenAI's research and ecosystem expansion while advancing our own ASI strategy. So you know how Nvidia is very proud in saying, yeah, we use loads of AI coding bots now at Nvidia. Everyone's got one. We all use it. We generate code with it. Look what video cards are reporting. Nvidia say, February the 26th, 11 a.m. PT update. We have discovered a bug in the game-ready and Studio 59559 WHQL drivers and have removed the downloads temporarily while our team investigates. For users that have already installed this driver or are experiencing issues with fan control, please roll back. Now, I will say, an issue with fan control in your graphics driver is probably a bad thing, especially if it's a big, beefy NVIDIA GPU that's consuming untold amounts of power and getting ridiculously hot. It's going to die if the fans don't work. I'm going to just say, I mean, this is not been confirmed, but I'm just going to say this is due to their AI slop coding. It's got to be. So we're going to see more of this, mark my words. Now, I don't know whether you've been following this, but the War Department in America, so the Department of Defense, which was renamed to the War Department, basically the American military, they want unrestricted access to Anthropic's AI models for things like autonomous drone swarms. I think like all fancy stuff like kill chain, automatic kill chain, whatever. Basically, just an AI system that can just identify targets and attack them. Doesn't need any kind of oversight from a human. Anthropic were given a deadline of today, and Anthropic said, no, we don't want anything to do with this. But still, the War Department is saying, oh, no, we're still talking to Anthropic. And now OpenAI has got involved in this. This is one of those things where it becomes this sort of wider philosophical issue of AI and its impact on society, and where are the guardrails? Who is going to implement the guardrails? That is the big thing here. We just don't know. Obviously, these AI labs all want to just continue this like relentless march of progress, almost at the cost of everything else. And we're seeing it's at the cost of the environment, the cost of water, the cost of electricity. Anyway, Anthropic say this. A statement on our discussions with the Department of War. I do want to start with this quote from the statement. They say, regardless, these threats do not change our position. We cannot, in good conscience, accede to their request. So they're saying they cannot agree with this. So we'll go through this now and read it, because it is fair to read this. I can't just take quotes out of this. This is, this is a statement we need to go through. So a statement from Dario on our discussions with the Department of War. I believe deeply in the existential importance of using AI to defend the United States and other democracies and to defeat autocratic adversaries. Anthropic has therefore worked proactively to deploy our models to the Department of War and the intelligence community. We were the first frontier AI company to deploy our models in the US government's classified networks, the first to deploy them at the national laboratories, and the first to provide custom models for national security customers. Claude is extensively deployed across the Department of War and other national security agencies for mission-critical applications such as intelligence analysis, modeling and simulation, operational planning, cyber operations, and more. Anthropic has also acted to defend America's lead in AI, even when it's against the company's short-term interest. We chose to forgo several $100 million in revenue to cut off the use of Claude by firms linked to the Chinese Communist Party, some of whom have been designated by the Department of War as Chinese military companies, shut down CCP-sponsored cyber attacks that attempted to abuse Claude, and have advocated for strong export controls on chips to ensure a democratic advantage. Anthropic understands that the Department of War, not private companies, makes military decisions. We have never raised objections to particular military operations, nor attempted to limit the use of our technology in an ad hoc manner. However, in a narrow set of cases, we believe AI can undermine rather than defend democratic values. Some uses are also simply outside the bounds of what today's technology can safely, reliably do. Two such use cases have never been included in our contracts with the Department of War, and we believe they should not be included now. So, mass domestic surveillance. We support the use of AI for lawful foreign intelligence and counterintelligence missions, but using these systems for mass domestic surveillance is incompatible with democratic values. AI-driven mass surveillance prevents serious, novel risks to our fundamental liberties. To the extent that such surveillance is currently legal, this is only because the law has not yet caught up with the rapidly growing capabilities of AI. For example, under current law, the government can purchase detailed records of Americans' movements, web browsing, and associations from public sources without obtaining a warrant, a practice the intelligence community has acknowledged raises privacy concerns and that has generated bipartisan opposition in Congress. Powerful AI makes it possible to assemble this scattered, individually innocuous data into a comprehensive picture of any person's life, automatically and at a massive scale. And the next one is fully autonomous weapons. Partially autonomous weapons, like those used today in Ukraine, are vital to the defense of democracy. Even fully autonomous weapons, like those that take humans out of the loop entirely and automate selecting and engaging targets, may prove critical for our national defense. But today, frontier AI systems are simply not reliable enough to power fully autonomous weapons. We will not knowingly provide a product that puts America's warfighters and civilians at risk. We have offered to work directly with the Department of War on research and development to improve the reliability of these systems, but they have not accepted this offer. In addition, without proper oversight, fully autonomous weapons cannot be relied upon to exercise the critical judgment that our highly trained professional troops exhibit every day. They need to be deployed with proper guardrails, which don't exist today. So we do need to discuss both of these points. I mean, the first point, mass surveillance. I mean, if you're American, I'm pretty sure that goes against your constitutional rights as well. For me in the UK, obviously, I don't want mass surveillance. It's terrible. We always look to countries like China and we say, yeah, China are under mass AI surveillance. Even in the UK, there's facial recognition cameras that I've seen them, they deploy them. They're like AI mobile things. They have them on roads. They say that they use to see if people are using mobile phones, but I bet you they can detect who the person is and all kinds of stuff. And that is a very worrying path to go down, where everything becomes, well, you know, like you've just got mass surveillance. Like everything is being recorded by the government. That's never a state you want to be in. That is just, that is bad. That is super bad. So I am glad that Anthropic are against that, but I'm not too sure they can stop it. And I'm pretty sure it's already happening anyway. They just don't want to use their models used for that, but most likely they probably are being used for that. Now, the other component here is fully autonomous weapons. And again, this goes back to that cliched thing of Terminator, Skynet. The first thing Skynet does when it realizes, it becomes aware, is I'll attack the USSR or I'll attack Russia because they'll fire all their nuclear weapons back at me and kill all of these humans, which I don't want, and then I can crack on with whatever I want to do. It seems to me crazy, in fact, batshit insane, to hand over the entire like kill chain to an AI because you don't really know what it's going to do. They make mistakes. You use AI now, you get basic mistakes back from the AI. You can't make mistakes if you're going to start deploying ordnance. What the hell's going to happen there? So again, the system's just not advanced enough for that, but probably at some point they will be, and they will be used for that. So it does, to me, unfortunately, feel like this is just postponing the inevitable. They go on to say, or Dario goes on to say, to our knowledge, these two exceptions have not been a barrier to accelerating the adoption and use of our models within our armed forces to date. The Department of War has stated they will only contract with AI companies who accede to any lawful use and remove safeguards in the case mentioned above. They have threatened to remove us from their systems if we maintain these safeguards. They have also threatened to designate us a supply chain risk, a label reserved for US adversaries, never before applied to an American company, and to invoke the Defense Production Act to force the safeguards removal. These latter two threats are inherently contradictory. One labels security risk, the other labels Claude as essential to national security. Regardless, these threats do not change our position. We cannot in good conscience accede to this request. It is the department's prerogative to select contracts most aligned with their vision, but given the substantial value that Anthropic's technology provides to our armed forces, we hope they reconsider. Our strong preference is to continue to serve the Department of War and our warfighters with our two requested safeguards in place. Should the department choose to offboard Anthropic, we will work to enable a smooth transition to another provider, avoiding any disruption to ongoing military planning, operations, or other critical missions. Our models will be available in the expansive terms we have proposed for as long as required. We remain ready to continue our work to support national security of the United States. So, over on investing.com, OpenAI's Altman seeks to de-escalate Anthropic Pentagon standoff, which was reported initially by the Wall Street Journal. So, OpenAI chief executive Sam Altman told staff Thursday that the company was working on a potential deal that could help resolve the standoff between Anthropic and the Pentagon over battlefield AI use. No deal has been signed, and the talks could fall through, according to reporting from the Wall Street Journal, citing a person familiar with the matter. In a note to staff on Thursday, viewed by the Wall Street Journal, Altman wrote that OpenAI was exploring an agreement with the Department of War that will allow its models to be deployed in classified environments while aligning with company principles. The proposed contract would cover any use except those which are unlawful or unsuited for cloud deployments, such as domestic surveillance and autonomous offensive weapons. But again, you've got to remember with this stuff, it's like you can just flip a switch and immediately they can do those things. Maybe not to the, a super accurate ability, especially not for autonomous weapons right now, but it is coming and it's getting very close. So I almost feel like all of this stuff, it kind of doesn't matter, because eventually they will just have AI that will do this, and where that takes us as a species, I don't even know. We really do need guardrails in place for this stuff, because things are going to get crazy. OpenAI seeks to maintain, Altman said he hoped to help broker a resolution between two sides. OpenAI seeks to maintain these guardrails through technical rather than contractual means, such as exploring a contract that would only allow its technology to be used from the cloud, not in edge cases. This would prohibit its use in autonomous weapons without humans in the loop. Altman wrote that OpenAI would also build technical safeguards and deploy personnel to partner with the government to ensure proper operation. The company would offer similar services to other allied nations. If successful, this approach could provide a path that works for other AI labs. Earlier Thursday, Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei announced that the company had rejected the Department of War's demands, and that made its technology available for all lawful uses. Anthropic insisted on being able to bar its use for mass domestic surveillance and autonomous weapons. And I've just read this. So like I said, we all get caught out by this. Article was generated with the support of AI and reviewed by an editor. So yeah, we all get caught out by AI. I was saying this in another video. I literally looked at this article and thought, oh yeah, this is supporting, I'll use it. Should have just went to the Wall Street Journal. But then again, these things happen and we're just going to roll with it. So AI, we need to talk, I think, about the implications this is going to have to us. And I think as well, this is, we talk about this, we talk about nuclear weapons, right? I think in a lot of ways, AI is the next generation nuclear weapon. What it's going to enable is, you've got those sci-fi visions of thousands and thousands of drones, drone swarm technology, hundreds of thousands of drones flying over to attack. I don't know, a lot of the things, China against the West, so China against the US, some absolutely massive, automated AI war. Whoever's got the best AI model is going to win. Who can ever make the most of the actual, the drones is going to win that kind of war. And I think if one side is playing by rules and another side isn't, it forces the other side not to play by rules. And this is a path we've gone down before with nuclear weapons, where everyone starts building up to a point that is absolutely ludicrous. And then what happened, we had nuclear proliferation, I should say, comes in, and then we get a reduction of nuclear weapons, and we're at a level where there's still enough nuclear weapons to end humanity more than enough times over. But didn't get totally out of control, and it made it a little bit safer. AI, this is happening so fast with AI, I don't know where this is going to go. AI is deployed in Ukraine. We know in the Ukrainian war, AI is being used all over the place. There isn't fully autonomous systems, I don't think, that are being used, but there are systems that use AI for target identification, for intelligence, for stuff like that. But there isn't much of a jump when you start seeing full-blown autonomous systems. And then where do we go from that? And this is one of those things where, I say this a lot when I'm talking about AI, but it is an existential crisis, because where are we? Where does this end? You know what I mean? We're going from a stupid world of chatbots and slop-generated AI to just machines of killing and mass surveillance and AI. It's crazy. It is crazy. All right, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I think it's been a bit of a pretty heavy video, I think this has, but I'll look forward to reading the comments. And yeah. All right, guys, I'm in Stylosi. Follow me on everything, which is at Stylosi, and I'll catch you lovely lot on the next one. See you soon.